But the hit effect system in this game, what VF tries to do is really show you the what moves are counter hits, normal hits, and side hits with a visual perspective, right? So normal hits are like yellow. We have yellow hit sparks. And let me if I take out. If I take out the hit display, you should be able to see the hit sparks. Yeah, so you see those like yellow hit sparks. Obviously, the heavier the hit, the more hit sparks you get. Counter hits are red. So now everything will look red. Boom. And counter hits give you more advantage. They give you more different properties. You get the idea. Side hits are blue. So this move side turns. When I hit them, I'll get a blue hit spark. You guys see that? Cool. And then counter hit side hits are purple. You can see how it's kind of purple. That's a big purple. So sorry if you're colorblind, but now you know. Now you understand kind of. So there are a lot of characters that you have to hit confirm your counter hits. I feel like VF makes it a lot easier than a lot of other games to hit confirm counter hits and counter hit launchers. Blaze, for example, has this launcher, which only launches on counter hit. But if I see the red, I can look for it and kind of react to it. So movement, really important in Virtua Fighter. There's lots of cool options and differences and things like that. Basic movement is, you can walk back, walk forward. Walking is pretty slow in this game across the board. There's not like a whole walk speed thing, but it's there. You can hold up. You can walk. You can walk in 3D. Ooh, 3D. And if you hold down, you'll crouch. But you can't really walk toward the screen unless you start walking backward first. So if you walk forward or backward first, then you can kind of walk forward. But I feel like you wouldn't use this very often. You can also, as a result, you can kind of do fun stuff like you can slide around. Some people taunt like this. I'm sure you guys will get taunted eventually. So yeah, so that's holding buttons. Like I said before, if you're holding guard, you can't do any of this stuff except crouch. All you can do is crouch if you're guarding. None of this other stuff will work. And then you can dash. So there's back dash, there's forward dash. Tap forward twice, tap back twice. This game also has crouch dashing, so you can tap down back twice, get a crouch dash, or down forward twice, get a crouch dash. You can even crouch dash from a crouch position, which is cool. Very useful. This will go under highs, so a lot of times if you don't have a high crush, you can always crouch dash into a wall rising move or something, and that'll also work very, very well. If you tap guard and hold up and push up, you'll get a jump. No more moon jumps. Moon jumps are fun, but we don't have those anymore. You can do up forward and guard, and you'll get a forward jump. Up back and guard, get a back jump. This jumps are interesting because you can cancel out of certain moves into jumps. So for example, Blaze has this rocket discharge kind of running attack, which normally you can't really do anything except run around. But I can jump cancel out of it, which is like one of the only other options I have, which can be really tricky. It's also, I believe, some certain stances you can jump cancel out of them and things like that, so just keep that in mind. If you have a character and you've got some stance or some sort of cool movement option, see if you can jump cancel out of it. Tapping up or down will give you sidestep. Up, up sidestep, down sidestep. Just a tap. The way sidesteps work, very important, is an up-down sidestep is called an evade in VF. And if somebody does a normal attack, just a straight attack, if you do the input at whatever time during that attack, you will get a successful evade. It's fully invincible to the attack, and your character will make a little sound. So if I have Brad do this punch, and I do an evade right after my punch, you'll hear me make a sound, and it's a successful evade. I get I get a little bit of a advantage, and I'm at side turn state. So it's pretty common to sidestep and try to punish with a button. So you probably noticed that it didn't work the first time I did it. If I do an evade without them pushing a button, I still get the animation, but it'll be called a failed evade. And there's no invincibility. It's completely vulnerable. So what happened earlier is I did a punch and I tried to evade, but the punch leaves me at an advantage. So doing the evade too early, Brad hasn't done a move yet. So if I do punch up at +2 and I try to evade, I'm going to get hit. See? But if I do a kick or something and immediately evade, my kick is minus, so it'll work. So it is common to wait for someone to evade and punish that. You can totally do that. There are certain moves that are kind of delayed that will also beat evades. And yeah, just keep that in mind. Failed evades are not good. You don't want to do failed evades. You want to be typically doing an evade when you're at a disadvantage. You don't want to do an evade when you're at advantage. There's also a different type of evade called offensive move, which you do kind of do an advantage sometimes. What it does is it gives you the properties of an evade without the invincibility, but it's a little faster. And the way to do that is to evade and push PKG. Right, and you get kind of this cool sound. You can do it a lot, but it'll also put you at a side turn state. The reason side turn state is good is because side turn leaves you at a 3-frame advantage over normally where you would be at. So normally I'd be +2 here. If I do offensive move punch, I should be +5, which means I can counter hit and have better frame traps. So you can see like a little icon show up for circular can evade. That's my fully circular move. Beats sidestep. If Brad tries the sidestep, here we go, perfect. So if I push a button, he's going to sidestep now. Right? But if I do a circular, I'll hit him counter hit. There are also half circulars in the game where you kind of have to decide which direction the circular beats. So certain moves will beat, a step toward the screen, and certain moves will beat a step away from the screen. I'm not going to go into too much depth. I'm just going to let you know this is kind of how it works. You can also guard cancel your stuff. So you can guard cancel forward dashes, even crouch forward dashes. So if I wanted to dash forward, I could easily guard cancel. There are some combos that require that, so it's good to know. You cannot guard cancel out of back dashes. Backdashes are fully vulnerable. You also can't guard cancel out of a crouch backdash. The reason that's really important to remember is because backdash state leaves you in a counter hit state. So anytime somebody catches you backdashing, you can be launched with a counter hit launcher, you can be crumpled with a 3K. Just keep that in mind. Very different than Tekken. Tekken backdashes are safe. You can block while backdashing, but in VF you cannot block while backdashing. Very punishable read. Backdashes are great because you can bait things out, but if somebody catches you backdashing and they got the read, you can lose a lot of health. That's all guaranteed. So keep that in mind. Some interesting things about movement as well. If you're back turn state, so I have this back turn state here. You can crouch dash, kind of back crouch dash, and you get like this cool little turnaround crouch dash. So I do this a lot. Very, very evasive and very cool. So if you have characters that have that kind of thing, I tend to do it a lot. I think I can do this. Yeah, so like very common to see this from L-Blaze players. This won't work as well, but you get the idea. They definitely nerfed this because it was too good. But yeah, it's fun. All types of fun stuff with backdashing. And crouch dash is also super good and super fun. Like if you know someone's gonna mash jab at the beginning of a round, I've done so many rounds where I've just like crouch dash forward. There we go. Boom. Yeah. So you get the idea. You get lots of evasive moves with your crouch dashing. Very useful. I feel like people don't use it enough. So I'm gonna teach evade crouch dash canceling, and then that's gonna be a whole other video anyway. But I'm just gonna do a basic, probably to start off that video. But this is probably the most complicated part of VF, and for all you movement heads, all you Tekken players or wave dash people and fun Street Fighter movement people, like this is your jam. So we talked a little bit about failed evades, right? Failed evades are very vulnerable, not great, not a great option from a defensive perspective. But you can cancel out of evades with a crouch dash. So if I see if I can show you guys this. So my normal failed evade looks like this. I'll do up because it's easier. I can cancel out of my side evade with a crouch dash, the forward crouch dash. And if I want to make it safe, I'll hold guard to cancel out of the forward dash, right? So I can evade and then crouch dash, guard cancel. If you want to see my inputs, you can see my inputs. Not the best, but you get the idea. You can do this up or down. I'm on hitbox, so it's just easier for me to do down. It's a lot easier also to do this after being at a disadvantage, after doing a button. You can use the 10-frame input buffer and still put your evade crouch dash cancel input in during the buffer. So I'll do a blocked button and then I'll buffer in the evade crouch dash cancel. So you guys can see this. So if you're doing it right, it should look like this. And the reason this is popular and well used is because it beats a lot of options. So instead of getting a failed evade and getting bodied, if somebody does a circular motion or circular move, it'll beat the circular move. So anyway, what I was trying to show before is that if a character does a circular, after and I do an evade crouch dash cancel, I'll be able to beat that circular. So normally if I sidestepped, I get destroyed. But if I evade crouch dash cancel, let's see if I can do it. I'll block it. So it's pretty common to see like high level players doing this because it's an option select that beats a lot of options, but it's really hard to do. So you see I'm still evading, but like I'm blocking in time. Really, really frustrating when you see somebody who's doing this and you can't get them with a circular. But I will tell you the answer. The answer to this is sweep. Sweep will beat evade crouch dash cancel. In case you're fighting somebody who's really good. Just do sweep. Yep, see, I totally destroyed it. Oh my god. If I can do this. I did it too early. Yeah, so it's not a thing. Anyway, so that's like really in depth on movement, which is why I kind of didn't want to. I could do like a whole video on this and how to do it, but just give you guys an example and to have the sound bites for it. I figured I'd show you real quick. So yeah, that's pretty much like the basics of everything. And yeah, I think, you know, the most important thing I think is just understanding there's different flow when it comes to 2D versus 3D, and understanding that you'll be closer, you're going to be more making reads, you're going to be more in people's faces, and there's less pushback, all that sorts of things are going to affect kind of how you play these games. You know, enjoy, like, don't forget to use your evades, don't forget to do your evade launcher type stuff. Hopefully this will be a nice resource for newer players to kind of figure out the game when REVO comes out and they're getting bodied. I hope I covered enough. I feel like I didn't cover everything I wanted, but I think it's important not to just inundate. There's so much, right? I think it's important to just explain the basics and not get caught up in all the crazy nuances of the game while explaining them. So hopefully this is a nice medium of that, because there is a whole lot more like nuance in here between everything I've explained, I'm sure. Cool. All right, I'll see you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you have a good day, and like, comment, subscribe or something.